Did you see the big news today though?
Yeah, that Bryan Danielson's coming back.
Yeah, he was cleared to return to in ring action. So I'm imagining he'll do something at WrestleMania, right?
You would think,
Well, I
right?
mean, I would think he wants that payday, and they need it.
Yeah. So I guess from what I'm reading, they're working towards him working with Owens and Zayn somehow, maybe in a tag match with Shane.
I'd be interested to see how much of his style is going to be toned down, because he's one of those guys, like we've talked about before, like Eddie Guerrero, Benoit. You can't tell them to slow down; they just have one speed.
Well, that's just. I mean, that is just dumb. There's like I've said, there's just a complete lack of common sense industry-wide with most of the professional wrestlers with regards to injury prevention. And he's unfortunately, he's one of the poster boys, and I just don't, I mean, if these guys realized that you could get, like, that there is a reality and less is more, that is actually a thing, that you don't have to go out there and kill yourself. You don't have to go out there and actually do things that really hurt to try to get yourself over.
Yeah, the thing is that the problem we have is, like, I'll give you an example. I just saw, Ricky Banderas, right? Messias, D.I.?
Yeah.
Well, he just had double knee surgery, right? And one of the things that he was famous for is he'd get up on like ladders and he did it a lot from the top rope, and he'd do, like, the splash, right? And of course, it just messed up his knees. And he goes, when I was young, I never thought this would happen to me. And now I've paid a price for it, because, like I've said before, it's very hard to tell a young guy who's never been hurt and is trying to make a name for themselves. Same thing with Sabu. When I first met Sabu, I want to say 20 years ago, maybe 25 years ago is when I first met him.
Yeah.
And he was going through tables and doing all this crazy shit. And I was like, first of all, I can't believe your uncle lets you do that, because he never did it himself. He goes, he doesn't like it, but he got over with fire, and I'm going to get over, doing the crazy shit that I got to do, because I'm a smaller guy. And remember, Sabu was never a steroid guy, and he was, he's maybe 5'11". So he just felt he had to go out of his way to do something crazy. The only bad thing is that now it's almost expected from the boys, and it's like turned into a game of one-upsmanship, and we're going to see a lot of people crippled.
Yeah, well, I mean, but Bryan's going to be 37 this year, too, so he's not, the young guy from Ring of Honor that has a lot to prove anymore. If anything, I mean, you'd think he'd take the flying headbutt out of the mix, right? I mean, we talked about that before, about how Harley Race has always told guys that he saw do it, because he invented it, like, don't do it. This is what it did to my neck. This is the damage it did. And Bryan, with his history...
It's Husey. Hello.
The damage it did. And Bryan, with his history of concussions and his neck injuries, you'd think at least that is one of the spots he'd take out, along with that outside the ring dive.
He comes off as a very articulate, bright guy, so I'm sure that he's going to tone it down like Rey Mysterio did, because I remember everybody saying, you're not going to last 5 years. You're not going to last, they always used to tell him the same thing. Here he is, and, maybe 9 knee surgeries later, but he's still here, but because he toned his style down.
Right. Yeah, it should be exciting. At least it's something unexpected, Otherwise, we were talking about how predictable things have been.
It'll be super exciting.
Yeah. And so this throws a little surprise into the mix.